All right, that works. Well, welcome to real-world OpenStack deployments. We're looking at business factors that affect your storage decisions. I'm Chad Morgenstern. I'm a NetApp OpenStack Tech and Market Engineer, and we're here today to talk about, well, OpenStack and storage. So, I've worked the booth enough this week to know that although NetApp is deployed in 6 out of 8 OpenStack super users, and although we're #1 upon corporate or commercial storage, many of you still don't know exactly what it is NetApp does when it has to do with OpenStack. So a real brief overview. So NetApp has deep integration with each of the storage components from Cinder, Manila, Swift, as well as S3, file system, shared file system, across our entire infrastructure base. We have AltaVault for cloud backup. We have OCI for overview. We have deep integration. We are really a portfolio enablement company about managing your data where you need to be, because data is gold. So we're not just on-prem either. Data mobility, our data fabric, moving from on-prem private cloud to public cloud and everywhere in between. Part of the data fabric. So we're not just an enablement company. We're also deeply integrated with the open source community. In fact, since 1999, NetApp has been deeply integrated with open source. We worked with Tron Michelburst back in 1999 to improve the NFS stack in the Linux kernel. We are a gold charter member of the OpenStack community, OpenStack Foundation. We have an elected board seat. We have had, and presently do have, a project technology lead in Manila, and we've had the first project technology lead for Cinder. And as you can see here, NetApp is #1 or #2 as far as lines of code contributed back to the community for Cinder on the left and Manila on the right. So this is NetApp's 9th speaking session of this show and 3rd and final sponsor session. You've heard perhaps many of our previous engineers. You've heard perhaps Manila being spoken to by Gautam Ravi and its various facets, from onboarding to project updates, maybe about driver handle share services, some of the more advanced features of Manila. Maybe you've heard John Griffith. In fact, he just left the stage a few hours ago. He talked about containerized Cinder with Kubernetes. Maybe you've heard Michael Bagg with NFV, or Chris Burnett earlier today speaking with STC, Middle East's largest public cloud. So in this session, we're going to stop talking, and we're going to turn things over to Excite Japan and Uniadex, a Unisys company, to have them talk about the business factors that they ran into, the things they had to overcome to enter the cloud space. We're going to hear Fukuda-san from Excite Japan, Japan's oldest internet service provider, as they talk about their race to operational efficiency. That race which led them to OpenStack, and ultimately to using SolidFire for Cinder. Next up, we'll hear from Yamaguchi-san, a cloud manager with Uniadex, and he'll speak about the uCloud, an IaaS platform. And he'll speak about their need for shared file services with such application as database, or Active Directory tight integration for shared file services for SMB. We're going to have both come up, one after the other, and if you don't mind, we'll hold all questions till the end. Without further ado, Fukuda-san.
Okay, it's an honor to be here today. Let me talk about our story with OpenStack and SolidFire. My presentation will take us about 15 minutes. I'm Takashi Fukuda, an infrastructure engineer at Excite Japan, and I'm working on operating the whole infrastructure for our services. And we got started to use OpenStack since 2015, and I'm mainly in charge of that in my team. We have many kinds of services like this, and 54 million users visit our services a month. Our company has almost 200 workers, so it's actually not big. And 30% of them are engineers, and 6 persons of them, including me, are in charge of our infrastructure. So let me talk about why we are using OpenStack. Before OpenStack, we were considering what should we do to survive the harsh business environment. And after that, we found out important 3 keywords. First, agility. Once come up with some ideas, we should make it real and release it as soon as possible. Second, flexibility. Where business is not stable and sometimes grow rapidly. Finally, availability, of course. We cannot stop our system because web business is 24/7. So these keywords are essential for us. We were thinking about how can we accelerate our business. And one is increasing human resources, but it's not easy, actually pretty difficult. And another way is reducing inefficient process. So we realized that we need to help our software engineers by efficient and flexible infrastructure. So we were thinking that we need to change greatly our environment for our future. So our software engineers had to do order-style workflows and too much inefficient requests to my team, building servers and changing configurations. It makes them harder to try rapidly advancing technologies. Not nice for them. Not nice for our company because we cannot survive without it. So our infrastructure should help them to do that. So speaking of our environment, we were 2nd generation before OpenStack. It means 1st generation was physical server era, and 2nd generation was virtualization era. We got a paradigm shift from 1st generation to 2nd generation before, and now we need another paradigm shift from 2nd generation to 3rd generation, because the new platform that software engineers can build their environment by themselves was necessary for DevOps era. So far, we've just focused on stable, solid, and low cost. And now we have to think about how should we be more valuable team to our business? And how should we contribute to our business? So infrastructure should be an acceleration of business. So we were examining about the solution, and we got the conclusion that building a new environment with OpenStack is the best way for us. Of course, before getting started, we examined what's OpenStack. And we understood the following important things. First, OpenStack is not VMware replacement. As you know, this is the most famous phrase in OpenStack Summit, right? I've heard a lot. And second, OpenStack is not silver bullet. It's also a popular phrase here, right? And finally, considering how to utilize OpenStack is most important. So these things are very important to avoid failure to build an environment with OpenStack. So if we don't utilize OpenStack, it doesn't make sense. So we had to think about how to do that after building. First, we should try to make everything automatic by the APIs. Second, combine with other tools to help the automation, like Ansible or some other tools which we make. Third, change the way developing software completely. It means it's not improving the conventional way. Finally, we need to build a consensus with our software engineers because we need to build a new environment together. So here's the blueprint about the environment, about the new environment. At first, we tried to build it as DIY because we wanted to understand how it works one by one. Of course, it must be difficult, but this knowledge which I get during the building process should be valuable for operating. But the progress was very bad because there wasn't enough human resources in my team. Actually, I was trying to build it just by myself because my team had just 6 persons, and we cannot stop our current works. So I think DIY building by just one person was almost impossible. I think it was a reckless drive, actually. Anyway, after that, we got help from Red Hat and used their OpenStack Platform 8, which is based on Liberty version. And their triple-O-based installation is intelligent and efficient, and their H architecture is reliable. And also, their large amount of knowledge is very helpful when we get some trouble. at last, we realize that if there's no enough human resources like us, relying on trustworthy distribution is a better way, because OpenStack is not easy. Even the Red Hat OpenStack platform, we got some troubles during the building and operating. So after we become a long way run, our OpenStack began running finally. So, and next, let me talk about the storage in our OpenStack system, because here's the NetApp session. So we plan to get a new storage for our OpenStack system, and we were considering these things as our requirements. First, cost performance. Web service is a very low profit business, so our budget is very tight. Second, enough capacity. So many kinds of data increasing day by day. So even though we have to cut the cost, we also need to have enough capacity. Third, high performance. Some middleware like database needs high performance, of course. Fourth, high flexibility and scalability. Nobody can predict the future, so especially in web business. So we should consider to expand the capacity in the future. Finally, OpenStack friendly, of course. We can set it up and manage it easily and simply. I'm sure that we were considering many storages, and we got the conclusion that SolidFire met the requirements like this. It's higher performance per dollars than conventional storage, and compress and deduplication functions efficiency, so we can have enough capacity. And also it's high performance because it's all flash storage system, you know? And we can easily expand the capacity and performance by adding a node. So it's a very simple configuration for using an OpenStack. And also, they contribute a lot to Cinder project. So it's very reliable to use it for OpenStack. So we decided to choose SolidFire. So we got the 6 nodes. The physical capacity is totally 14.4 terabyte, and its overall efficiency is 5.7 times for now, thanks to thin provisioning, deduplication, and compression. So it means we can provision over 80 terabyte logically. It's pretty effective. And the IOPS is totally 300,000, and it looks quite enough for us. And also, we can expand the IOPS by adding a node as well as capacity. It's really nice. So SolidFire helped our business by its high performance, convenient tools, easy maintenance, and stability. For instance, the high performance helped one of our high I/O requirement service, Wisteria, which is our original recommendation engine for our media services. And its engineers are very satisfied with its high performance because it takes a lot of data and need to calculate and responded very fast. So, and also, additional convenient tools help us to operate. We can do maintenance and version up easily online. It's totally different from conventional storage. And also, we've run almost 2 years and didn't get any serious problems. So it's very stable. So let me share the results by our new environment with OpenStack. As a result of that, we could reduce our team's request to 1/6 on average. So these requests means like deploying new servers and changing configurations and examining new technologies. And of course, it didn't thanks to OpenStack only, because we changed the rules, procedures, and workflows, and so on for our new services. So this is the result of the whole new environment with OpenStack. So we got a better result than we expected. And we got additional result. Our software engineers said, as well as reducing requests, it's very easy to try new technology just by themselves, because they can create virtual server easily by themselves when they need it. It will arouse their motivation to try new things. Let me share another story. Our OpenStack system helped one of our smartphone application, Laurier Press, taking first place in the iOS App Store ranking. It's a brilliant achievement for us. But this service has been growing rapidly, so the deployment team needed additional server resources quickly. At the time, our new efficient environment supported them. This is one of our practical results. before conclusion, let me talk about where are we and what are we doing now. Our previous VMware-based system is still working, so the conventional inefficient workflows are still there. But but it's decreasing day by day. Basically, we are using the new environment for our new services, so we don't have plans to migrate all of the existing virtual servers right now. We need to do it little by little because software engineers are also busy. So it means we need to operate both of them for a few years. But our software engineers are satisfied with the new environment and the workflows. And I'm sure that we made the correct decision. And also, we have plans to expand the resources of our OpenStack system because the services working on it are increasing day by day. So by and large, works well. Of course, we are operating our OpenStack system every day and fixing problems once it happens. And also, we are trying to make them better like this. We are creating two functions now. One is fixing the biased processing load among the compute nodes dynamically, automatically, like VMware's DRS. Because there's nothing on our OpenStack, but we need it. Another one is managing some parameters of our load balancer because Airbus version 2 is not enough for us. And also, we are thinking about combining with some public cloud seamlessly because some of our services are working on it. And try to utilize some unused component like Swift, for example. Actually, we don't use it for our services. And Docker and Kubernetes, which are hot topic recently, and I think we need it in the near future. So let me just put this in context close. Most important things to build an environment with OpenStack is don't make a mistake when we consider the purpose using OpenStack, because OpenStack is not core. And if there isn't enough engineers to build an OpenStack-based environment, perhaps relying on trustworthy distribution is better, I think. And after building a system, we have to continue trying to make our work automatic and efficient by the OpenStack APIs. And also, stable and reliable storage system is one of the key parts for stable OpenStack system. It's cornerstones. So thank you for your attention, and I hope you enjoyed my story, and please feel free to contact me. Thank you.
Hi. Good afternoon, everyone. Hi. I'm Nobuhiko Yamaguchi of Uniadex in Japan. So I'm infrastructure engineer and OpenStack team manager. So let's start. Here are the main points I will be covering in my presentation. We are offering cloud services. I will explain the different types of storage that can be used as a cloud provider. Next, I will introduce how to configure OpenStack storage using a storage hardware, NetApp. So then I will focus on Manila and how you can use it. We are Uniadex Corporation, a member of the Japanese group company. These are the cloud services that we provide. So first one is public cloud service. So we offer IaaS service. The name of the service is uCloud IaaS. So we have two data centers that can provide DL service. uCloud provides about 10,000 volumes and 10,000 of virtual machines to customers. Second is private cloud services. So we implement private cloud system using various products, including OpenStack. Today's main part will be the building of a private cloud. Lastly is enterprise system using AWS and Azure. Cloud-based storage has many options. You can select the type and the protocol of the connection method, and select the storage required for the server. Each server can make configurations for different systems. Therefore, it is important to have different types of storage in the cloud infrastructure. I will tell about the storage required for the cloud infrastructure. First of all, data protection is important to avoid losing data. It is necessary to make a system that data will not be destroyed. Next, the ease of expansion is also a key point. Cloud infrastructure must be able to expand quickly and easily. Third, there are many types of storage required for the server. Of course, you would want to have high performance and a large variety of functions. However, it is also necessary to have a balance between cost and quality. Last, if you are going to use many kinds of storage, you will want to avoid complicated operational procedures. A simple operation is better. About OpenStack storage, there are many requirements. Since the backend has many options for expansion, quality, and performance that the customer can choose depending on their needs. Then there is grants. As you use OpenStack, image data size will increase, so it is important to consider grants' backend storage. The storage area of Nova's instance is also an issue. You have to consider storage of Nova's instance. Also, to increase availability, it is necessary to consider the storage location of the Nova instance as a shared area. Generally, NAS is required to configure the enterprise system. So it will be necessary to build a new NAS or to use a NAS service that you are using in your company. As you continue to use cloud, the number of compute nodes and the size of storage volumes will increase. So the storage should be scalable. There are multiple storage services in the user side. Also, a lot of storage is required in the administrator environment too. As a whole, there are many different kinds of storage, so their management tends to be complex. Software storage has a wide variety of choices, such as Ceph and GlassDFS. These are very often used in OpenStack. They are easy to scale out. However, you need high-skilled specialists for implementation and operation. On the other side, hardware storage has very high quality and stable performance. If you have existing hardware storage, you can use it. It is important to check whether OpenStack driver supports hardware storage or not. I recommend to use hardware storage in production environment. As a solution to concerns, I propose simple.
Oh, Steve is in.
Sorry. Okay. When you are using Yes, big boss. You are using OpenStack money as file sharing. Big boss. Okay, clear. It's very clear. File sharing is necessary for configuring the enterprise system. If you use hardware storage, you can use a function such as backup or snapshot. Why do you need Manila? OpenStack Cinder offers block storage support. Cinder block storage attaches one instance that makes it a local disk. It cannot share the file of the same volume between multiple hosts. Since Swift is an object storage, it cannot be mounted to the disk. Only Manila can share volume between multiple hosts. OpenStack Manila makes file-based storage and file sharing services. Manila file sharing has two configuration methods. Shown left is the share server type. Here, the usage of share server is dedicated to tenant. Tenant A can use a dedicated file sharing service for tenant A. In this method, tenant A instance cannot use the share file service of tenant B. If you use Manila's dedicated type, the network can be used by the tenant's internal network. This is an important point of Manila's configuration network. You can freely create internal networks using Neutron, and it can be used by Manila. Right side is a no-share server type. It may sound a bit confusing, but in no-share server type, tenants can share the storage volume. So in this case, tenant C and tenant D can use the same shared file service. It can be used simultaneously from both tenants. In the shared type, the network must be set up in advance. You can use a network such as floating IP or provider network. When you want to manage multiple tenants independently, you have to use share server type, shown in the left. To implement share server type, you need to effectively utilize SVM. SVM used for share server. So what is SVM? SVM stands for Storage Virtual Machines, technology of NetApp. SVM logically separates storage to be used in multiple tenants. This is an example configuration of Manila's no-share server type. Both tenant X and tenant Y can use the volume created by Manila. In Manila using storage hardware, you can directly use volume of the hardware. By this, you can utilize the high quality and availability of the hardware. Therefore, the share volume can be used for access and mounting from multiple servers. In addition, NetApp Manila driver supports Windows Swift protocol. So you can use Swift volume from Windows server. You can create volume from Manila on SVM with Microsoft Active Directory. This is a use case. It is possible to access a volume created by NetApp's Manila, not only from the server, but also from outside OpenStack. In addition, it is also possible to create a configuration that uses the storage function, such as the virus scanning system. In this case, you use NFS. This is use case of migration. In this case, there is a development environment and a production environment. By mounting and using the same NFS volume, data migration will be very smooth. Usually, the volume that was created outside OpenStack cannot be managed from Ops Manila, but by using manage command of OpenStack Manila, you can control it from OpenStack Manila. This command is effective in the situations such as system migration. This picture is an example configuration of Manila share server type. In this case, if you are using a NetApp Manila driver, you can connect with Microsoft Active Directory, and you can use SIF's volume. So, okay. This slide is use case for SIFs. SIF setup of SVM can be performed automatically. I will explain how to configure settings for automatic setup. First, to set the Manila network, select one network from the networks created by Neutron. Next, you create security service including information on Microsoft Active Directory. Finally, you add the create security service to the Manila network. Now the system is ready to create the Manila SIFs volume. When you create share in Manila, SVM, SIF setup, and SIFs volume will be automatically created by NetApp's Manila driver. Of course, you can use NFS with this type too. This is a use case. Because the storage hardware is high quality, it is possible to use it the system like database, log servers, backup server. So this concludes my presentation. Uniadex is more than just a company that sells products and provides support service to customers. So your success is our success. Thank you for your listening.
So, thank you, Fukuda-san. Thank you, Yamaguchi-san. Again, I'm Chad Morgenstern. And if you'd like to learn more about NetApp and its various technologies and portfolios, I'd like you to visit netapp.io. NetApp's one-stop shopping for all things open source, documentation, blogs, use cases. Or visit us at netapp.io/slack, and you can get a hold of each of us, including our engineering. Thank you.